Plan ahead for a safe New Year's Eve. I will have this one dedicated to my friend Glen Ahlsten, who I lost on New Year's Eve of 1980. Glen Ahlsten was a good friend of mine. I was 19 years old and he was 16. And he was hit by a drunk driver in Surrey as he was just leaving his vehicle. Drunk driver Craig Bradley Christie, who has now passed away since. My friend Glen Ahlsten was only 16 years old, and he still would have lived if it hadn't been for a drunk driver, somebody who chose to drive drunk, came along and clipped him and threw him up like a deer in the headlights as I was a passenger in my friend's car. My friend just stopped his car to wipe the windshield off the grime that he had on his windshield. And that's the last I saw of him. He said he was going to take me to his home where he'd spent a lot of his life growing up in Surrey. We were living in Chilliwack at that time, and I was just getting to be really good friends with him, my friend Glen Ahlsten. It's affected the rest of my life basically, and also now I have PTSD from this whole incident. Same thing soldiers get when they violently see somebody die. My friend Glen Ahlsten, he died in my arms. I tried to do CPR on him, didn't work, and even the doctors pronounced him later on, said he's dead, there's nothing we could do for him anymore. And if he'd lived, he would have been a vegetable. In other words, he would not have been a human that would have a good quality of life, but in a vegetative state. Now anyways, I will read this story here now. Designated drivers, taxis and public transit, all good options for getting home alive. As we prepare to ring into the new year, we anticipate an evening spent celebrating with family or friends, but the night should start with a plan that ensures you and those who care about make it home safely. Once again this year, drivers can expect that police will step up enforcement of impaired driving at counter-attack road checks across the province. Despite all the progress that has been made over the last 40 years due to counterattack and tougher penalties, impaired driving still remains a top contributing factor for fatal crashes in BC. BC is home to the toughest impaired driving laws in the country. If you're caught behind the wheel while under the influence, your license will be suspended from 24 hours up to 90 days, and your vehicle will be impounded on the spot. Impaired driving fines range from $600 all the way up to $4,060. And jail time is a possibility. If you believe efforts to curtail impairments are focused solely on those who consume alcohol, you're mistaken. The percentage of Canadian drivers killed in vehicle crashes who tested positive for drugs, 40%, now exceeds the percentage testing positive for alcohol, 33%. Meanwhile, impaired driving is the leading criminal cause of death, injury in Canada. If you're hosting a party, prepare non-alcoholic drinks and snacks for designated drivers. Encourage your guests not to drink and drive. There's always at least one small option to get home, such as arranging for a designated driver, setting money aside for a taxi or transit. ICBC sponsors Operation Red Nose, a volunteer service in 19 BC communities that provides safe rides to drivers who feel unfit to drive, no matter the reason. The service is available through the holiday season until Monday, on Friday and Saturday nights, including New Year's Eve. If you're a designated driver on New Year's Eve, don't let your guard down. Use your defensive driving skills and pay attention to other vehicles on the road. Impaired driving-related crashes and the aftermath are something no family wants to go through, and it's completely preventable. So please use common sense, plan ahead, and ring in the new year safely. Yes, we definitely should consider plan ahead for a safe New Year's Eve. My friend Glen Ahlsten cannot be brought back anymore, and it was a tragic thing that happened when I was 19 years old. It cannot be forgotten. But we always have to think now is we don't ever want to find ourselves in the same position or prevent somebody else from driving who's had a drink or too many drinks, etc. Is provide a taxi for them, or take their keys away, or whatever it takes. Plan ahead for a safe New Year's 2019. Thank you.